All right. All right. Shalom. Salakia. All right. Shalom. We the Brothers of Great Millstone, the church in Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believers. So yeah, we back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, in which the spirit we come in is pretty much the spirit of prophecy. And why wouldn't we? Seeing that spirit, being the spirit of prophecy, actually emanates from the testimony of the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son himself. So pretty much this is what the Bible promotes. When you consider all the historical events and various accounts, well, in some capacity, they pretty much serves as a foreshadowing to the here and now. Basically, everything is a build up to this moment. For an example, when you read what's that, 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, that's touching the visitation of Sodom and Gomorrah and the 5 neighboring cities, where the scriptures, and we often go into this, is likened, that act was likened into an example, an ensample, which when you go into that word ensample, it simply translates to sample. So all those different historical accounts from Sodom and Gomorrah, the 5 neighboring cities, the takedown of Nineveh, even the flood in the time of Noah, they were somewhat of a appetizer. It was just a sample. The main event, you know what you can liken it to? And not to downplay those events, because all the works of the Most High is great, but it will pale in comparison to this visitation. What is likened to an opening act, right? You know, you have someone to open up the show, but then you have the headliner. Well, guess what? America, Babylon the Great, is the headliner, man. Everything is a build up to that wondrous work. You see? And you know what makes it even more eerie? Everything around you is really a reminder that the destruction is coming, man. The mere fact that this place is set up, this system is operating, and the so-called white man himself is governing over it, well, that's a telltale sign that the destruction is coming. You know, you consider a woman with child, right? She could deny it all she wants, but once you see that, what they call it, a baby bump, once you see that, then you know the baby is coming, man. So that's the same with America. The mere fact that this place is set up, we know that a destruction is coming. We know that war is in the air. What's that? Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, which speaks to a time of war. Well, this is accommodated by the mere fact that America has been erected. So in essence, really in all actuality, we're in the midst of World War III. It's only escalating, right? As you can see, the title of this lesson, Bible Prophecy and the Escalation of World War III, the Third War. There's going to be a very prominent, famous event that's going to take place, man, which is well documented in the Holy Scriptures, in which we got a little information we want to bring forth to prove that that's the vibration on the earth. Everything is trending to that moment. But before we go there, real quick, let's pull up the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter and the 12th verse. Baba Kashab.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Salakia, jump up to the 11th verse.
Revelation 17 and 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth.
Matter
And
of fact,
is
you know what? Yeah, the 10th verse. Salakia.
Revelation 17 and 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen.
Right. And we know, when you go into this breakdown, we understand that the 5 that are fallen are German major, German minor, the French, the Spanish, and the Greeks. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and one is fallen, and the other is not.
Read that again out. Read it again.
Salaki. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is.
And one is, meaning when John was writing this, he was speaking to the kingdom in which was in power, which was the ancient Roman Empire. So you had the 5 which had fallen, which I mentioned, Germanian Minor, Major, French, the Spanish, the Greeks, and the one which was the very kingdom that was in power at that time, which was the ancient Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
And that's dealing with what? The British, which pretty much colonized the West. The British was the bridge to the West, in which the British, they had a short space to be the, how would you put it, the empire at that time, which an empire is paid tribute to. So you had the British, which that colony, it began around 1558 up until when? To around 1776, right? When America was established. Not saying that British is not hit, the British is not here, but America spun from Britain, you see? So from 1558 to 1776 is what, 220 years or so? Give or take a couple of years. So that's a short space. You see? Read that again.
And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Right, go ahead.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is of the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
Yeah, read that again.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
Right, and that's concerning America, which came out of Great Britain. So the scriptures are saying once America is birthed, is going into perdition. Click on that word perdition. So as soon as this place was erected, when this place was established, which is the year 1776, that was on file. That's what we use as the gauge, if you will. Well, from that moment, America's destruction had begun to blossom. That was pretty much a crash course with destiny at that moment. As soon as America was spawned, it began to spiral into destruction. Go ahead, Op.
Strong's G 684, it says destroying, utter destruction of vessels, a perishing ruin, destruction.
Right. So again, the scriptures say the 8th is of the 7th and goeth into perdition. You see? So the mere fact that America is here is proof that a destruction is coming. Matter of fact, real quick from there, go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, and beginning at the 13th verse. Because even Esau, he understands this concept, and that's concerning the heads of Esau, meaning the higher ups, so to speak, the elites, the chief house of the nation of Edom. They understand their fate. It even tells you that in the parable concerning Lazarus and the rich man.
Mm-hmm.
He was given insight concerning his fate, man. Remember, it provoked a reaction, and he tried to come to grips with that reality. Remember, he petitioned for Abraham to send forth Lazarus and warn his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So Esau is plagued with the burden of knowing that the destruction draw nigh, man. That's why even these movies, when you think about it, it gives you a glimpse into his desire. A lot of these movies, they're centered around, especially the more thought-provoking movies from E, not just that BS he gives Jake to keep them preoccupied, to keep all of you Chaldeans, you like kids, right? Just throw them something to preoccupy them. But I'm talking about those thought-provoking movies. For the most part, they all have something to do with time travel, man.
Mm-hmm.
See? That's E sharing his thoughts with you. Why he want to really go back in time and make things right. Because he understands fully his fate. And it tells you that in the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter. Remember the dread of Cain, where he made the statement, whomsoever shall find me shall slay me. So he knew his destiny, which, by the way, that links up to, what's that, 2 Thessalonians?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
What's that, 2 Thessalonians 2?
Where
it speaks about
let's say then shall that wicked be revealed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See? And the reason why I'm thinking about it, because I'm pretty sure that word if I'm not mistaken, that's good, bro. That word prediction is in there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you got two entities which captures the very perfection of the Most High, the duality of Yahweh Ba'ashim and Hawashah. Right? You have righteousness and you have wickedness, which is played out through two nations, Jacob versus Esau. Jacob being the son set to receive prosperity and life versus Esau, who was the son of perdition. Meaning as soon as he was born, the clock started ticking on him, moving towards that destruction. Come on,
Con. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 13. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, begin to draw to our end.
Right. And when you read this, this is ultimately concerning Esau. Right? Because he's reasoning with himself in his precept. And something else come to mind that caused me to pause in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. Right? Matter of fact, Baba Kashah, let's jump over there.
Okay.
We're going to come back here to the 5th chapter. But let's go to the 2nd chapter. And it pretty much gives you, it gives you a glimpse into the mind of Esau, man, as touching his reasoning and the fact that he's burdened with understanding his fate. See? Matter of fact, read the first verse so you can set the tone.
Con. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious. And in the death of a man, there is no remedy.
Right. So this is the ungodly reasoning within himself. So this goes into the think tanks of Esau. They understand fully their fate because the prophets is out there reminding them. Hey, and although you people out there, you downplay, you scoff, you make mockery of the men of the Lord, guess who take us serious? The elites, man, the very ones who control the planet Earth through their corporations, right? It's really a one world government because you have the minority to rule over the majority through their corporations. Well, they call it a monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
See? Mono meaning one and poly meaning many. Go ahead.
Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Mm-hmm. And that's concerned. This is a dark saying concerning coming back into power. You see? Because when you go into the ancient kingdoms, when they fell, they didn't come back from that low state, which is the grave. But it was one kingdom that the Lord allowed to do that in a sense, and that was Esau. Because it tells you that in the book of what's that, Malachi, the first
They
chapter.
shall be come.
We shall return and build the desolate places. That's why Esau's return is captured in the form of what? The Renaissance. When you go into that word Renaissance, it means what? The rebirth. So they died, and the Lord allowed them to be born again. That deadly wound that was healed. Matter of fact, it's going to tell you that in the second verse.
It says, "For we are born at all adventure."
See, so you notice where they spoke to the fact that there was no man who ever was known to return from the grave. Again, that was a dark saying for the nations. You see? But it went on to say, but we are born. See, so they came up from that dead state. So through the Renaissance, right, they was born again. In these government buildings, and this is only for those who have eyes to see. You know, the masses, they're just that, the masses. When you go into the word mass, it literally translates to death. That's the congregation of the dead. They don't consider they're not alive. They don't consider their surroundings. They don't look at these government buildings and see that it's the same architecture of Rome, of the ancient Roman Empire. See? That's this devil being born again at all adventure. Read that again.
For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
Right, because when this place is destroyed, and we're going to get that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. When this place is destroyed, that's it. That would be the end of the so-called white man's moment in time. And that Yahweh Shema Shai is cold, man. Because you had ancient kingdoms who ruled and governed over the planet Earth, and their kingdom was pretty much the centerpiece of the known world at that time. The contemporaries of Pharaoh II, Ramses II, they never thought that system would ever end. They thought that was the be-all, end-all. Yet, as the seasons had passed away, man, and ain't nobody talking about the ancient Egyptian, right, empire, unless we touch on it. And if it is some historian talking about it, it don't pique the interest of the people. You see, it's on PBS, but you know, one of those channels we watching it, man.
Okay.
Right? Or one of these black consciousness niggas speaking about it. But nobody's concerned about ancient Egypt or the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Go ahead.
It says, "For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke."
Right, and the breath in their nostrils is this system. That's why you have like a flow of traffic. You got currency. You see? That's the breath. That's this system thriving only but what for a moment. Go ahead.
And a little spark in the moving of our heart.
Right, so this is nothing. That's why Esau is on the clock. See? Go ahead.
For which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
Right, that's dealing with the destruction, man. America's going to be destroyed and turned into ashes. See? Go ahead.
And our name shall be forgotten in time,
Mm-hmm.
and no man shall have our works in remembrance.
Right. This is King's language, man. They're speaking about their influence in the planet Earth. And again, Esau being the foot, the basis of men, that's pretty much the last thing you're going to remember. This is the last experience before the kingdom of heaven. You know, you had the Greeks, the Romans, you had the Babylonians, the Americans. You had a heavy form of Hellenization with the Greeks. They transformed the people at that time into their customs. You had Romanization under the Romans, which was the same concept. Now you have what's known as Americanization. Go ahead.
It says, and our life shall pass away as the trance of a cloud.
Yep, the trace of a cloud.
Excuse me,
You know, like
trace
you
of
see
a
a
cloud.
cloud and it just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you really can't see it. It dissolves. That's how America is going to go. Go ahead.
And shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof.
Right, that's the destruction, man. That mist, because a mist covers you. That's how the mist is going to cover America. It's going to be a lake of fire. Come on.
For our time is a very shadow that passeth away.
Read that again.
For our time is a very shadow that passeth away.
See that? So that complements what we read in Revelation, the 12th chapter, man. The eighth that cometh of the seven that goes into perdition.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as America was set up, the clock started ticking. Go ahead.
And after our end, there is no returning, for it is fast sealed.
Yep.
So that no man cometh again.
You see that? So again, that's Esau reasoning with himself. Now let's go back to the 5th chapter. It started the 13th verse again.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 13. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end.
So as soon as America was erected, as soon as this place was born, right, it began to draw towards its end. See? Because the momentum is headed towards the kingdom of heaven, man. And pretty much Esau is licking up a little scraps here and there on the way. This is somewhat of his consolation prize. Go ahead.
And had no sign of virtue to shew, but were consumed in our own wickedness.
Right. Well, that's talking about now, man, under the watch of Esau. As soon as they was born, they began to draw to their end and had no sign of virtue. It was nothing pious about this place. Even when you look back, right, in times past with the swingers, the 1800s, up into go-go dancers or whatever, right? It seems innocent compared to now, but it was all wicked. It only just gradually morphed into, right, this cesspool of perverseness. See, and the twisted nature of Esau, the so-called white man. But it goes on to say, but we were consumed in our own wickedness, man. So there's no way out of this predicament. Yahweh Shemahawashah indeed place you on that slippery, or what's that, Psalms? Is that Psalms 37 or 73? One of them.
Yep, kind of slippery slopes.
Right, that slippery slope. There's only one way to go, but down. Come on.
It says, for the hope of the ungodly is like the dust that is blown away with the wind.
Yep, with the destruction. Go ahead.
Like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm. Like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest. and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
Right. See? So again, when America came on the scene, it was nothing more than a guess, man. Right? That tarried for a day.
Mm-hmm.
And why is the scriptures likening this moment to that type of setting? You know, a guest that tarried for a day. That's because both of y'all know he there for a day, man. Now again, don't consider the masses of the people. They believe that this is a perpetual thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the heads of Jacob, pretty much, and the elect of the nation of Israel, the governing body, as well as the chief of Edom, they know that they know the situation, man. Right? You have a guest, he know he tarrying for a day, and I know you tarrying for a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's why deep down in their spirit, there's a sense of urgency to stay.
Mm.
But no, we are rooting you out, man. You gotta go. And you even hear certain brothers say that, you gotta go, man. Right? Because you just really tarrying for a day. And really we tired of you. See? But again, America's fate is fast sealed, as we read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. So the clock is ticking, man. See? So you got something up? Yeah, come on.
This is the book of Job, chapter 7, and verse 1. Is there not an appointed time to man upon earth?
Mm-hmm.
Are not his days also like the days of a hireling?
Yep, which is, again, like a guest. You see? A hireling has a particular job. He has an office, a task to perform. Then after he have performed it and fulfilled his duties, then he's discarded. See? Matter of fact, can you click on that word right there? Hireling. And it's another word that jump out as well. I don't know if that's a phrase. Yep. Days. But yeah, let's see what this gives you.
Strong's 7919. It says hired. Hired of animal, hireling, hired laborer, mercenary.
Mercenary. Yo. Yeah, and when you look at the Strong's right there, right, you see servant. He saw it nothing more than a servant. He's been hired. He's been given a job to do by Yahweh Shemel Shah. See? And again, when someone perform a work, let's say you have the plumber to come through. He's not tarrying there for 2 weeks, man. He's there to do his job. And he gone. See? Never to be remembered again. So
I got one more.
But yeah, come on. I want to look at that word, days too.
Let's go
ahead and get that precept and we can come back to that definition. Yep, and you got it, bro.
Romans chapter 9. And let's see. Verse 17. It says, for the scriptures saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might shew my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. If I may, as ancient Egypt was raised up, they was preserved by the way of Joseph, where they was made a superpower in the earth, because everybody else had to come to them for grain, had to come to them in that time of famine, where the Lord has raised Esau up in this time that his power may be showed. That short space that this devil has maintained his power, and that's why the Lord has raised them up, those parallels,
Right.
So you want to get that word, that phrase, days.
Yep. So let's go back there. I believe it was 2 sets of that phrase. Right. If you jump up, right there, the days. Let's see what that one give you. We can look
Strong's
at the
H. It's like it. Strong's H 3117. It says day, time, year. Day as opposed to night. Day, 24-hour period. It says as defined by evening and morning in Genesis 1 as a division of time. It
might be the same word there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It says a working day.
A day. It says a division of time, right? As a division of time. That's the portions, if you will. When you consider the nations, again, they had their time to rule and have influence over the planet Earth. It was the Lord who gave them their time. So a certain portion of time was divided into Esau, which was a short time. Come on.
It says a working day, a day's journey, days, lifetime.
Right, and it goes back to what? The second chapter of Wisdom of Solomon, in which we read, where Esau, reasoning with himself, he came to the conclusion that his days, he was likening his days into a spirit in a man, in which will ultimately that body will be burned and turned into ashes and his spirit will be dispersed. You see, so that's a lifetime. So this is the lifetime of E, right? As it is written, E is the end of the world. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there. You could check out the other word, the other phrase as well. It looks like, well, it's the same word. Right? So we could go back to matter of fact, you know what? Go to the book of Psalms, the 9th chapter. And we're gonna kind of jump around, and then we'll segue into the articles. So let's start at the first verse.
This is Psalms chapter 9 and verse 1. I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works.
Right. And really the marvelous works of the Lord that's being shown forth is the destruction, man. That's pretty much the climax of the works of Yahweh Shai as it relates to this current system. Because again, remember, for an example, that timeline in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, remember it's peaked with the tolls, the 10 tolls, right, which is concerned in this present time, and how that storm, which was made without hands, which represents the return of Yahweh Shai, this is what would topple these kingdoms, thus bringing forth the kingdom of heaven. So that marvelous work that we expounding on is ultimately the destruction, man, because this is what's going to bring about the kingdom of heaven. The destruction is what's going to coincide with the return of Yahweh Shai, right? That act is going to provoke the deliverer. You see? Come on.
I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou most high. When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence.
Right. And see, that's dealing with what? The destruction. So that's how we know that marvelous works, right? Why would the marvelous works be dealing with clouds and, a Christian, man, you give them a pad and a pen and say, draw the first thing that come to mind, right? And, you read the precept, marvelous work. Draw the first thing that come to mind. A nigga draw clouds, a sun, a sun with a smiling face, right? But when you stroll down, you see what in context, you see where those marvelous works has everything to do with the fall and perishing of the enemies of the Lord. See? So now, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna come back to the 9th verse. I'm gonna give it over to you out.
From endtimeheadlines.org. Putin threatens to use terrifying weapon that was prophesied by the prophet Zechariah. If I may, you can tell how these certain publications are ear hustling the prophets, man. It was no point in time that Zechariah, what they speaking on was Zechariah 14 and 12, was equated to the destruction until the prophets hit the scene, man.
Right.
Well,
hey, that's the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter, I want to say, where it speaks about no, matter of fact, I want to say that's Habakkuk, right? Habakkuk 3, where it speaks about the word of the Lord will cover the.
Oh yeah, 2 and 14, yep.
Like 2 and 14, cover the earth as the water covers the sea. You see, so this word is having its impact on the people, man. The Lord do control the minds of kings. So when you consider the doctrine itself, in which the Lord entrusted with the apostles and elders, the men before us, and we continuing in that labor, well, let's say if the Lord wasn't with that, then the earth would be trending toward peace. You can't tell me that that's not an option, man. The earth could have easily been trending towards peace. But as it were, you have the world leaders, the kings of the earth, and they're pretty much dancing to this song, man. Like you have a puppet screen. Come on out.
It's from 13WMass.com. North Korea launches intercontinental ballistic test missile that could hit the U.S.
Right.
If I may, it's like part of the week saying that.
It's like it was a little static on my end. I don't know if it's just me, but when you were speaking, when you was reading, but I think you're good now.
It says North Korea launches intercontinental ballistic test missile that could hit the U.S. But if I may, as part of the week saying that I am strong, our prophecy is coming to pass. You had these certain nations that were once considered feeble, gearing up with intercontinental ballistic missiles to shoot where? At America. As you mentioned, Elder, the reason why the Lord raised this place up is for the perdition, is for the destruction.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. They actually got missiles pointed this way, pointed right at America. See? And why is this the theme? These missiles why is the U.S. the target? See? Because everything falls under the banner of biblical prophecy, man. Come on, is it more on that?
Pretty much. That this is from theexpress.com. It says satellite pics show North Korean troops heading to Ukraine in chilling World War III escalation.
Oh, they go that word escalation. You see? Which directly links into biblical prophecy. Remember, we read in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, is touching the 8th that goes into perdition. Right? We read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, where Esau, reasoning with himself, came to the conclusion, we are born, right, at all adventure to go into our destiny, our fate, which is destruction, man. You see? So now you have the vibration, the pulse on the planet Earth is World War III escalating. Real quick, do me a favor. If you could paste that word, or either just whatever easier for you to do, either type it in, or let's just take a look at that word real quick, and it could be from a simple Google, which we all know, but let's kind of
this
focus in
website.
on this word.
Let me see if I can get it to pop up. Okay.
Hey, because when you're born, that's really an escalation. You start escalating. See? If you're not developing, then everybody start getting concerned. You're 3 years old, you still, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Struggling with talking, because when you're born, the expectation is for you to start escalating. Come on,
Escalation, it says a rapid increase, a rise. It says also an increase in the intensity or seriousness of something, or the intensification.
Right. So, yeah, war. Right. Ever since this man came on the scene, war has been escalating. You see? We mentioned even it was a war. It was a fight with the birth of America, man. The whore. The whore and her mother is at odds. It tells you that in, what's that, Jeremiah 50? Be that Jeremiah 50 and 12. She who bore you shall be so sore vexed with you. Hey, because at the spawning of America, it was at the expense of the British. Remember the red coats, the colonization. The red coats are coming. The break off from the British. So even at America's birth, right, it was war in the air. And there haven't been any signs of stopping, because we could pull up the stat now, man. All right, out of all the 200 and what it is, 220 or 30.
Yep. 92% of the time.
Right, 92% of the time, America has been occupied in war. And that's not hidden knowledge. You can go into the prominent wars, the Korean War, the War of 1812, the Civil War, which was on this war, and there's another one coming. See? And other wars on global scales, World War II, man. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that word. So when you born, right, you begin to things is an escalation, man. Matter of fact, real quick, I'll go to Job, the 27th chapter. I want to say that's Job 27, and I know we got more articles too, right? So let me try to grab this real quick. I know it's in Job 27. Try around the is it 14 maybe? Yep.
Yeah. Job chapter 27 verse.
Matter of fact, started the 13th verse up.
Job chapter 27 verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of oppressors.
Right, that's dealing with Esau, man. That word oppressor is linked to his legacy. See? Go ahead.
Which they shall receive of the Almighty.
Go ahead.
If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword.
Right. So when you are born, then you begin to multiply. Go ahead.
and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread.
This man came back into power. It set the clock for him being destroyed. He was born to die. Real quick, click on that word multiply real quick up.
Okay.
Sure.
Strong's 87235. It says to be or become great, be or become any, be or become much, be or become numerous.
Right. But hey, let's jump down. Now you see where it says multiply. Okay, it says increase. You see that? To make, much to do much in respect of, transgress greatly. You know that's dealing with America. Right? But increase greatly or exceedingly. So the increasing of America as the duration of time go forth, the longer you hear, the longer as you witness it, this reality, this current system, is nothing more than a reminder. It's a constant reminder that a destruction is coming, man. As we just read, if he be multiplied, then it is for the sword. This is what awaits those missiles. You see it? So we can go back up. Yeah.
This is from Jamestown.org. Russia escalates its war against Ukraine into global war against the West.
Right. So everything is geared towards the West, man. The Lord is very precise in who he's marked. Right? The Lord set his sights on the West. And look, this is not an impulsive reaction. Like the Lord got tired of America here in the 20th century. No, man. It really goes back into the story. You see? And we read that in Revelation, the 17th chapter. The 8th that is of the 7, America, in which she will go into perdition. So it was predetermined. The destiny of America is to be destroyed. That's why the nations is setting their sights on the West, man. Come on.
I believe that was it on the articles.
Right. So now let's go back to Psalms, the 9th chapter, in closing. And we're gonna pick it up because, like I said, I wanted to jump around so we can see what's being conveyed here. Scriptures is giving you a glimpse into the marvelous, right? Let's go back to the first verse. So you can see where we're going.
Psalms chapter 9 and verse 1. I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee.
So those marvelous works is perfected with the destruction. Right? Matter of fact, let's go back to the third verse. Let's continue to read down to the third verse.
I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou most high.
Is it?
When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained.
So we see here what those marvelous works, again, you see here where these marvelous works is in the same breath with the enemies of the Lord being turned back and perishing from his presence, meaning no longer occupying the power seat. There's going to be a moment where you're not going to see what you're witnessing now. You see? Come on up.
For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou sattest in the throne, judging right.
Right, and I made mention of that earlier, beginning with the apostles and elders in the song that has been sung. Well, if the Lord wasn't behind that, then that wouldn't be the momentum on the earth, war. But as it were, the Lord is maintaining our cause. Read that again, huh?
For thou hast maintained my right and my cause.
Mm-hmm.
Thou sattest in the throne, judging right.
See, so the Lord is honoring the petition of the poor, which I cried. Look, we never shied away from it, man. These devils, man, in their mischief, right? They hack your phone, they scrutinize your videos, right? They got the what you call it with the transcript.
Yeah, kind of.
They got AI. They heavily dissecting us as if it takes all that. We telling you you're gonna be destroyed, man. You see, and the Lord is maintaining our cause. Why? Because the nations are mad, as it is written, and they ready. It's like you got a room full of cowboys with their guns drawn, man, and they drunk off alcohol. Real talk. That's scripture saying they have drunken of the whore, right? And now they mad.
Kind.
So you know the only thing you can do now is backpedal out of there and take cover because they about to open fire. But what's that? That's the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man.
Mm-hmm.
Working through the nations to fulfill his will. Come on.
Thou hast rebuked the heathen.
See?
Thou hast destroyed the wicked.
See that? So before the destruction, when you pay attention to these scriptures, before the destruction of the wicked, he will rebuke them. Meaning it would be a heavy emphasis on condemning Esau, man. Mm-hmm. See? Read that again.
Thou hast rebuked the heathen. Thou hast destroyed the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Thou hast put out their name forever and ever.
See where the scriptures come together? We just read that in Wisdom of Solomon earlier. Well, this is the reasoning of Esau. They said, look, we're going to be forgotten in time.
Mm-hmm.
See? So that proves that the words of the Lord is resonating with Esau, man. It was meant to fall on his ears as well. And that's in the book of, really chiefly, Isaiah 13, go to the gates of the noble. See? That's why even when you read the story of Jacob and Esau, it tells you how Esau heard the words of his father and began to weep bitterly. See?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Come, O thou enemy, destructions are come to, excuse me, yeah. O thy enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual.
It kind of threw you off. Destructions.
Yeah,
yeah, see? That proved that that's dealing with Esau, man. At this man's arrival, if you will, at this man's emerging on the scene, it was war with him. Mm-hmm. We mentioned all the different wars. So this man don't have one moment like a blunder where he had this, where he destroyed the nations one time or destroyed a particular nation. No, this enemy here is responsible for destructions. Read that again.
Come, O thy enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end.
See? Go ahead.
Thou hast destroyed cities.
Right. You go into Hiroshima, right? You had these different towns in whom this man destroyed. See? And a lot of them not documented, man. Man, if you only knew all the airstrikes under the cover of darkness, why do you think these devils got this night vision? They do a lot of dirt, man. A lot of mischief and blood. He left a lot of carnage in the wake of his pursuit, his lust, right? To pretty much be him. Blood is like a fix to Esau, you know, like a heroin addict.
Okay.
That fix is nothing he can do. He keep calling him and calling him. Go ahead, up.
Come. It says, thou hast destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them.
Go ahead.
but the Lord shall endure forever.
Right. See? So everything is the momentum moving towards the kingdom of heaven, man. And this Yahweh Shema Shah, who's the coming fixture. Everybody else is just hirelings. And we read that.
Mm-hmm.
See? Go ahead.
He hath prepared his throne for judgment.
See? He has prepared. See? He has prepared his throne for judgment.
Hmm.
See that? So Esau, click on that word prepare.
Okay.
So these enemies in whom the Lord highlighted their works, right? They destroyed cities. Guess what? The Lord said he's going to prepare their throne for judgment. So when something is prepared, it's already established. It's fast sealed. Come on.
Con. It says to be firm, be stable, be established. It says to be set up. If I may.
If I may too. Hey, real quick, we might be on the same page, but real quick, the silos with the missiles in it, that's the setup. You got everything set up. You know, you want to come over and spend the night. I got the room set up. See? Go ahead.
Good. It says be established.
Slaki, you wanted to make a point?
Yeah, Slaki. As you mentioned, the silos, you know, that's why the Lord raised Esau up the sword. You know, that's why you got these certain silos set up all over the place. You know, they set up particularly for this hireling.
Hey, you got facilities, missiles, and not only that, we just went into one of the articles. North Korea testifying missiles, and the overall inspiration is in the spirit of, the calculations is formed to reach the U.S.
God.
See, that's the Lord preparing judgment. See, come on.
Could be established, be fixed, to be firmly established.
No way out of it. Them silos, they fresh in the ground with the missiles in them, man. Come on.
To be established, be stable, be secure, be enduring. It says to be fixed, be securely determined, to be directed aright, be fixed aright, be steadfast.
Come on, man. If your eyes are open, you can see where not only just with World War III, you know, with the microchip, everything is fixed, everything is laid out, the infrastructure for a digital system. But as we read in context right here in Psalm the 9th chapter, again, the Lord said he prepared judgment for his throne. What we read right here specifically concerning the judgment, and how everything is fixed, everything is established. Come on.
It says to prepare, be ready, to be prepared, be arranged, be settled.
Oh yeah, the scripture speaks about the nations. The Lord said, "What prepare war." That's the time we're in. Now, one of the definitions there is ready. You know, when you go into Revelation, the 11th chapter, where it speaks about the third woe coming quickly, one of the definitions there for quickly is ready, readiness. See? And it's just like if someone, let's say you about to leave, you and your real about to leave, go out. If she ain't ready, if she ain't dressed, then she ain't ready. She can't say, you can't say, well, we're gonna quickly. But once she's ready, then now you can say, I'm coming quickly. Or that person can say, I'm coming quickly now because I'm ready. I'm adorned, or the food is coming quickly because it's ready. I can't make that claim if I haven't prepared the Come on.
Good. It says to establish, set up, accomplish.
Right.
Do, make firm. To fix, make ready. Prepare, provide.
Right. Provide. Missiles is provided. You got nations, they sending emails, and you don't have to have a scientist to be there with a big ass blueprint. Everything is sharp. The Lord speaks about polishing up that sword. That means the technology is advanced. You get an email and you can proceed forth with, if you got, obviously you got the physical materials to proceed forth with developing those missiles. Come on out.
It says provide for, furnish, to direct toward, to arrange, order.
See that? Oh, and you see right here too, right? That word constitute is there. So you get the picture, man. Right? Everything is prepared. That's that escalation. So Bible prophecy is the driving force behind World War III. And at this point, we pretty much preaching to the choir, because the sincere amongst you out there, you know perfectly well, you dancing to this song, you understand the lyrics already, man. But as it were, again, this work is so great, you can't downplay it. Again, this is the headliner. You got a certain act, you got the hottest entertainer coming to your city. That's going to be published, man. You're going to see flyers, and you're going to be constantly reminded of that visitation. Why? Because it's going to be a great work. So that's why the Lord is constantly bringing this out, and simultaneously, for faith's sake, because, hey, the Lord is strengthening our faith when we see these things, but simultaneously, they're met together. The works, you see the kings of the earth, they test firing missiles, man. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believers, to the next time, shalom.
Shalom.